Hello, welcome to Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by God, who is backing us on Subscribestar. God
No, we got
donates $10 a month, not merely the
we got
$5.
we got God's favor. What about the rest of you losers?
You sons of bitches. First of all, God apparently doesn't talk to any of you. Did God warn any of you about any of that Nick Rekieta
What's
stuff, the
up?
Comicsgate
What's
stuff?
up with that?
God talking to us and none of you apparently actual Christians. Well, maybe he does if you're subscribed to our subscribe. There are some Christians who are subscribed, and clearly God is getting the message through that way. So if
God
you're not
agrees with them.
subscribed,
Agree
God,
with us.
you don't have any connection to God at all. You're probably Jesus Christ is waiting to pull the lever to send you rocketing to hell because you didn't subscribe to our subscribe star. I mean,
Which is
I'm
how it
sorry.
works because Jesus understands quantum physics,
He does
quantum
that stuff
mechanics.
personally. He's what I like to call a hands-on personal Jesus.
My own.
My own personal Jesus. That reminds me of a song that's not very good by a band that's not very good. Kill motherfucking Depeche Mode. Oh, wait, I
In
mean,
excess.
just yeah. Sorry, that's not the band's
Vanilla.
name. The band's name was In Excess. The band's name is not Kill motherfucking Depeche Mode. The band's
It's
name is In
fifth mode.
Excess. It's not kidnapping Madonna for drug money. That's actually, for
Oh,
some
that's a better
reason,
one.
I am trapped between figuring out which of those two is better. Both of them are
I
so good.
I definitely like the Weird Al movie reference there.
Yes. Literally, Weird Al made that a major plot element in his latest movie, the one with Harry Potter as Weird Al. That was actually that was a good movie. You know, it wasn't a good movie In Excess because they're not a movie; they're a band. They're a pretty good band though. Um, and you know what? I think all of us can agree that the way Michael Hutchins died, it's kind of sad and embarrassing, but it must be totally awesome to jack off while strangling yourself. And speaking of which, we figured we would cover. I had this in my notes for who knows how many years, 1, maybe 2 years, maybe 3. Um, the
2 years.
pervert, the pervert.
Yeah, actually, I had the bookmark for this, and it's like, I really don't want to read this though.
I actually read it, but it was a handful of years ago, 2 or 3, by Remy Boydell. And you're giving yourself away that way. Directed by Michelle Perez. What does that mean?
What? What does that mean? Oh,
What
a
did?
comic book was directed.
Yeah.
A comic book has a director.
But it's called The Pervert, but more accurately has been
It is about
relabeled
a pervert.
by the detractorinos as Trans Regret Snoopy, which is, I mean, the cover, right here gives it away. It's about a loon who was here clicking right on it. This is a difficult work to write a preface for just for because it's the sort of thing that I'm so cashed out on doing episodes about this. I'm like, I have to read
Yeah,
now. No, you know what? Click.
I don't like these people. I don't want
Okay,
to know about this stuff. It
art
makes me
by Remy
miserable.
Boydell, words by Michelle Perez. Okay, that makes more sense. Although Michelle Perez sounds like someone's trying to rip off the name. Is that like a parody of the name of the other classic comic book writer, Randisha Diaz? I don't know. In
Yes.
memory of Derek Watson, is that their dead name, or is that just some? Again, with the
Is that
truths,
what we do when
you
we
can
dead
never
name?
know. It's literally impossible to know.
Is that what we're doing when we dead name them?
Yeah, it's we fucking say in
Lay
memory
them to
of,
rest.
and it's like, is that you? Are you like it could just be an actual person though. It's impossible to tell because no transgendered person is ever honest enough. The way that they are constantly manipulating language to serve false means, false evidence appearing real, you could even call it. It's impossible to tell if they're trying to do some kind of troon speak, or if there was actually a person with that name who actually, for real life, meat space died. Impossible to know
We no longer can tell.
or care. It's,
See, thanks to the progress that's been made.
don't
Thanks
you
to
love progress?
trainees.
Heckin' progress areno.
Yes,
I do
that's
love
that
me
is
some
exactly
science.
the kind of progress too. It's heckin' progress.
So just clicking through, it's like first thing is some kind of splash page of like the urban sprawl, or not even that. It's the suburban sprawl. You can see trees, maybe even a mountain. Ugh. Uh, young dudes
Dude,
are the most.
I'm afraid of
It
those things.
it
I
starts
get
off.
anxiety when I'm out in nature.
I scream when I fucking hear the trees being too quiet. But the first panel of the entire comic says young dudes are probably the most pliable people in the history of people. It's saying the quiet part out loud, the comic. That's why I actually read this entire thing, because it's unintentionally funny, maybe intentionally funny about like somebody just
Well,
coming to
that's
the
what I
cusp of
assume. Actually,
self-awareness of what trannyism is,
it sounds
and then
like one of
just
those things that's
not.
it's very typical of the left, where they just tell on themselves all the time.
Yes. Yeah, the second panel is like sort of distant, closed McDonald's, and the caption says, again, this is just the second panel of the whole comic. It says, a fiscally conservative, socially libertarian guy asks me to fuck his ass while he calls me a fucking faggot. Is this an average day for you? Again, this I'm laughing, or the second panel, and I'm laughing already, and I have no idea if I'm
This is
supposed to.
this is shit like what you would make up with to make fun of Tank.
Yes.
Whenever we think of Tank, it's just how gay he's so gay, and then you just say that, and then you say something along the lines of, "I was always looking for the translation to the Swedish national anthem."
Yes, that's what this is so far. I haven't actually been reading the comic. I've been reading a translation of the Swedish national anthem. But again, I don't think it's possible to sell this comic, to convince people to read this comic more than just this. And I don't want to. I don't want to convince people to read this. I'm not trying to. I'm not also trying to chase anyone off. I'm not saying you shouldn't read this comic, by the way. It's leftist. Woke garbage. It's like, yes, we know it is, but it's like this guy. And I do have to give credit, even though I know he silly probably hates me, as she does naturally hate all boyum now. But she is actually the one
Ollie,
who
she's
was
turned
shilling this
against
comic.
her former audience. Then
Yes,
her
yes, she
98%
has.
male audience.
Yeah, 98%, and the other 2% are troons. They're anime black guys who are also women, of course.
AKA blurs.
Just, just blurs. Just right off the bat, though, I'm reminded of why I actually did kind of enjoy reading this. I think I asked her, and again, it was a few years ago. I asked her, "I was like, is it funny ironically or something?" And she said no. And I'm like, I am curious. I am curious,
She
yellow.
is female, so how the hell? What judgment is she making?
Yeah, I have no idea. But right here, right off the bat, I'm already bemused arena, perhaps even. I don't fucking know. But here, the third one is a kind of vague image of that. We might have to cut out. We might have to not show any of this comic. But again, it's just sort of vague images. Like the
Yeah,
fourth
because
panel is
like
just like
many
tabletops and
false
chairs.
flaggers like to false flag you by taking the material you're reviewing and then copyright striking it, because they know it's
How
the same thing as
how
silencing your
odd.
freedom of speech.
How strange. What kind of people do that? Leftist, liberal, woke SJW types? They do
Yes,
that?
and then also Liam Gray, who
Here,
his
well,
retard child audience
we were gonna make
thinks
a fucking
brainwave.
a point about that, which we've made a million times, but I was sort of joking about, or we were going to go more into that, but I was sort of joking about how the fiscally conservative social libertarian asked me to fuck his ass while he calls me a faggot, and I was like, yeah, is that a normal day for you? And sure enough, panel 3 caption says, I wasn't floored because this isn't especially new or unique. And it's like, holy shit, this comic just unironically answered a question I was asking in jest, just in my mind, in the back of my mind's
We
eye,
weren't
the back
being
of my eye.
serious.
Yes, but now I actually know the answer, and it is even funnier. This comic, just every panel gets
You
twice as
people
funny
wonder
with each successive
if you're
panel.
listening to this and you were actually a fan of this comic, this is why you get laughed at.
But
This is why
also,
no one respects you.
shouldn't you
They
be
don't
happy?
respect
You should be
your
happy that
lifestyle.
we're
They don't respect you
appreciating.
as people.
We're showing proper appreciation, aren't we? I don't know. The fourth
But
panel
I
is
was
just
showing
like
respect.
some chairs, and it says, "This guy looks like most clientele, like normcore?" Question mark. He's not that gay, he'll state over and over. Again, it's like this is like an fucking view into the average tranny. It's like you are just a fetish. People are doing if
Yeah,
people are in any kind of
it's just
relationship
a
with you, it's
weird
just a
sexual
shallow
fetish.
sexual relationship that's entirely for monetary exchange, and they're
Yeah,
doing
you
it
don't
not
exist.
because they think you're female, but because they know you aren't.
You exist outside of the norm.
The fifth panel is
Everyone
just a
can see
drawing of
through
like
it.
a McDonald's garbage can. And then the sixth panel with no caption, and then the sixth panel is again trans regret Snoopy, and it says, "My dude, if I'm fucking you in the asshole with a flesh and blood penis, that's not strictly speaking straight." Again, it's like taking this fiscally conservative, socially libertarian guy to the own zone. Way to fucking trash your own clients. Is this guy going to get off even more from you making fun of him in your comic book? Maybe that's even bigger part of the fetish. Who knows? Again, that's just page 1, which we have only looked at page 1, and I'm like, I kind of want to read the rest of this just to see how insane and self-embarrassing it is for the creator.
I bet it gets way worse.
Here's the next panel, and again, yeah, I'm probably because again, there's dirty stuff in it. I remember Yuck Zach Richard C. Furcuck Meyer used to mention this in videos because I think it was like, oh, Michelle Perez is one of the wokies who's ruining comics, and it's like, is it really that important? And again, if look at the
Yeah, who
comic,
is
it's
this?
just funny.
I've
Why
never
aren't you
heard of them.
laughing?
If I've never heard of them, then why are you trying to signal boost their existence to
Yeah,
me?
you're platforming them. Richard C. Myers giving them more publicity than they ever would have otherwise. Whatever, it would have otherwise. Um, Page 2, the first panel, just the trans regret Snoopy eating a burger. They look kind of like some kind of extra shaggy Scott Pilgrim as a cartoon dog eating a burger, and it says, "Men love to hear themselves talking about themselves. I'm thinking this earlier in the night over fast food." Is that you talking again? Is it the self-awareness is so questionable. It's like a J.J. Abrams mystery box of self-awareness. Is there any? Is it completely self-aware? Is there no self-awareness? Um, Again, for the second panel here is like trans regret Snoopy and a guy, human person, just they're eating McDonald's, I guess. They're in the place. It says, with no prompting on his political deal, he makes out a bulge in my shorts. It doesn't say bulgage in my shorts. It doesn't say oh whoa, but
Clearly a missed opportunity there.
yes. If I was writing this, I clearly would have done this better. So much better.
It
It
would have been
says,
so much funnier and
goes
less
on
sickening.
about how he's okay doing this. with me. Well, isn't that a good that's a good positive message, isn't it?
It's very it's about friendship.
That's what's so powerful about it. This is a nice creepy moment here, actually. That is, again, it points to a lack of self-awareness. But again, the lack of self-awareness is just as funny as if there was self-awareness, because it's just there's so many levels of delusion that any average
I mean,
troon
yeah,
has to operate
again,
on just
like
to
a
continue
hard
not
right
undying.
17-year-old Mexican Nazi LARPer would make something like this for
Yes.
4chan.
Well, to be honest, they wouldn't even do it this accurately, I think. This
No,
accurately.
but this is like so nearly on board perfect with it, exactly how it would be. It would be like 80% correct.
Yeah, if yeah, the point you're making is very accurate, though, is that this is the kind of story about a troon that somebody making fun of troons would make. Here's the next panel. It's the third one on this page, the second page. And it's a transregret Snoopy looking at the ball pit with kids playing it behind him. And it says, he's the manager of the place. Kids are playing in the ball pit while he talks about my dick. And the next panel is like little girl in the ball pit behind the cage.
Wow,
And
that's
it's,
really sick. Maybe you shouldn't even be encouraging that. Oh, wait, you're a troon. That's your ground state.
yeah. And again, just to help cement that, the next panel says, it's not really sanitary in the ball pit. I read there's all kinds of poop particles. He pays extra, so he comes in my mouth. And the next panel is, I think about what sentences they give to people who commit murder in ball pits. What's the news story look like? And it's like, here's the healthiest transgendered person, the
The
mind of the
least
healthiest
mentally
one.
unstable transgender.
Yeah, and again, it's for anyone who is just grossed out, who finds this grody. It gets more grody as this continues, and I could continue this because I fucking have no qualms about reading any of this. And it's not visually graphic because it's just like the next two on the next page, next two panels are like ball pit, ball pit. But the description is like pretty grody, and so instead of continuing on with that. I will well, I'll skip those panels, but it's the next one is the girls' bathroom with again this troon in there saying I wipe the makeup off my face. The makeup off my face in the bathroom before I leave. So it's like they're just a complete invader with a dick in the girls' bathroom because
Completely,
of course you would be.
completely not understanding, or else they know what a shit pile of failure they are on an instinctual, inherent level.
Yeah, and here's the panel after that is like streetlights, and it says work usually looked like trawling around web boards listing ads and being too dumb to use vetting services. I'm getting used to this. That's just straight up admitting they're a gay tranny hooker.
Gay
The next
retard.
page, splash of like a car accident crash, all smashed up car, but it like no context and isn't related to anything because the next page is just couples, and here they are doom scrolling on their phone or whatever. It's about 9 p.m. when I log on to OK Stupid. Whoa, consider that site owned. Um, the
They're
ideal
finished.
match is probably a pudgy girl who is lonely, has problems with people. What's the word? Introverted. Like, I'm one to talk. No, don't worry. I'm not some sort of creep. It's like bong in the corner, buttoning up shirt. Tran guy buttoning up shirt. And it's just like continuing with again just the whole story is like I'm a male gay tranny whore. I'm continuing to be a male gay tranny whore.
Something that can only exist in like the modern era or the most permissive, degenerate, damaged society, a society on its way out.
The Weimerica, in other words, the
Yes,
the Weimar fucking
Name one thing the left is
United
correct
States of
about.
Weimar.
The
Yeah.
Nazis are coming back.
Yeah, and again, this is a major part of why that's one thing the left definitely never understands is why are the rise of Nazism? How's it happening? As
They
though
don't study
they're then
history.
publishing books like this that completely validates a fucking
These are some of
return.
the people, if they don't end up dead immediately, they will end up as like the most unbelievably hardcore war criminals
Yeah, it's the
in human
fucking
history.
yeah. This is the 41% is like here's the other part that isn't the 41%. The people who are still alive, and they're talking about how they're
The
living as prostitutes
59%.
or sex workers, not whores. It's like Dominic Deegan's like she was a stripper, not a whore, and it's like she whore. Whore. Sit down, whore.
Then they joined the Gestapo.
How did that
Next
happen?
step is to become the Gestapo.
I know that was I forgot the guy's name, the dumb jock in Dominic Deegan who gets fucking like fucking Galaxy Quest turned inside out by one of the fucking evil wizards or some shit. Because for the sole crime
Because
of
he was
being a jock.
such a jock.
He was just such a fucking jock, and he didn't respect women. And wait, the other most important crime of all was that he called everyone fags. And it's like, did he even call the girls fags? Holy
That's
shit!
pretty funny.
Wow, this guy sounds cool to hang. I usually don't like jocks, but that guy actually sounds really cool and fun to hang out with. Thank you, Dominic Deegan. You have now convinced me that the jocks that I've spent all these years disliking are actually worth liking. Maybe they
At the
do
very
have some
least,
redemption.
I like them more than I like you.
Thank you. Anyways, that I think that wraps up that. With that says everything that needs to be said about the pervert. Now, again, if you are goofily curious about how ridiculous and either not self, it's not even that it's not self-aware. It's just that there's so much self-loathing in the whole book that it really comes off like either actual self-awareness or at least accidental self-awareness or something. Again, it's a mystery box where usually in the like Prometheus, that classic motion picture Prometheus, but where it's just endless puzzle boxes with no fucking answers, and or like Lost, of course, where it was all puzzle boxes with no fucking answers. This is all puzzle boxes with no fucking answers, but it's actually more satisfying to read because it's like, oh, they hate themselves just as much as they deserve to. It's satisfying and happy. So if you want to check it out, feel free. You should be able to find it just on the usual wherever. Um, and we finally covered this episode. Wow, doesn't it feel good to finally cover something that's been in the waiting list for so many years? We could read more. Maybe we'll read more in the next episode just for no reason. But again, it's kind of a dirty, filthy, grody comic. So maybe if you don't want to, I understand. Um, but hey, if you've been watching these, you're at least more clued in than like if you were just watching the Ya Boy Zach stuff. All you'd hear is him bitching about the comic and that kind of stuff, but never anything specific about the comic. It's like it would be way more interesting to actually hear a kind of a story time of the comic. You don't have to show it. You don't even have to read every bit of it, but just, find part. That's what a real reviewer with actual like talent and skill and humor and ability would do is be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start fucking dog earing this copy so that I can really share the delight of this book. But that's what we do, and everyone else missed out because you were stupid and gay. You might even be
For sure, man.
trans. With I mean it as a slur. But no, just yeah, for everyone else though, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.